Welcome to AutoText Me Service Advisor Training. I'm Craig O'Neill, and I will be your guide as you take your first steps with the AutoText Me system. First things first, I do want to direct you to our training page on the autotext.me website. You will have access to many of the articles that I'll be discussing in this video. You do not need to log in. This is public access. So once you are ready to begin, you're going to go over to your shop page by logging in with your username and password that have been provided to you. Your administrator will have given you a password. Your username generally by default is going to be your first initial, last name, as you can see up here in my user menu on the upper right. And once you log in, you will be looking at this active customer page. Mind you, this is a web application. You can go full screen and it will feel like a native application as well. However, there is no install necessary on any device. You can use this on your desktop, on your laptop, on your tablet, on your smartphone, anything that you can log into in one of the two supported browsers that we recommend, which are Google Chrome or Firefox. So you've logged into the system and you're ready to start using AutoText.me. What you're looking at here is the active customer page. We also call it the main screen. You can get back to this screen at any time by clicking on your shop banner, and this will refresh the page. You will of course see all of your customer information, their vehicle. You will see that you also have a text dialog button. You can click this and you can open this up to see either which messages have already been sent, what has been said back. You can even type out custom messages to your client. This is effectively a smartphone on your screen. If you do have text to pay with us, you'll see payment buttons here. You do have emojis. You can even attach images just like you would on a normal smartphone. Additional information available to you is the service writer assigned to the ticket or technician as well. And also you will see the estimated time to completion for that vehicle, the time that you would have promised it to be delivered. The statuses are either green, orange, or red. The orange and red will happen only for timers that are counting down. You can see that indicated here with the down arrows next to the time. Other statuses can either have no timer at all, or you can have an uptick timer which starts at 0 and keeps counting up. It will stay green the entire time. Updating statuses in AutoText.me is as simple as pointing and clicking on them. Let's say our parts have arrived for Justin Froyle's Acura, so we want to move the vehicle status now to the waiting on technician. We can do so just by clicking on it. Now other statuses that do have timers, if we are for example going to a waiting on parts status for this vehicle here, we can choose our vendor, we can choose who it's coming from, or we can leave that blank and we can just choose how long it's going to be. The downtick timers do require that you have a two-step confirmation for this. Once done, you can set that timer. You can see it's now starting from 1 hour. It'll start counting down. Now, when we send these sort of messages to a client, typically we can expect a text response. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to add a customer to the board. We can simulate a basic process here. Adding customers in AutoText.me with a non-integrated system is done by the Add Customer button right here. And even people with integrated systems can use this as well. I'm not going to go into how each integrated system brings clients into this. There are separate training pages on our website. So we're going to add a phone number. This is my number, which I use for our fictional client, Joe Palooka. We're going to choose a common vehicle that I use for demonstrations, this 2002 Honda Odyssey, and then we're going to choose which status we want to check it in. You can choose to start as an appointment. I'm going to keep it on my default status of the check-ins right there, and we can even set an estimated time to completion or a reason for the visit. So we can do a rattle over bumps, and then we'll add to the active customer page. And here we have Joe Palooka on our board in that check-in status. And you'll hear that I do have a text message flying onto my other screen now. So what I can actually do is I can go and reply to this. You can see the message that Joe was sent right here. It says, "We're glad to serve you today. Please feel free to communicate with us by text message." Actually would have also included the greeting. It would say, "Hello, Joe, comma." We don't show you the greeting or the signature. Also at the end of that message, you'll see that it says the thank you message or the signature from the business. So it would say, "Thank you, Craig's Awesome Auto Service," and then my shop's business phone number as well. Now, if I wanted to be polite customer, I would say something to the effect of "thanks," and then I would send you that message. Now, this is in real time, so you'll see the message pop on the screen right here. I have audio notifications set on my system, so I will receive that. Now, in addition to that, if the customer replies to you and you're not looking at that screen, you will see notifications of this. I have a question, let's say. So I can send that message. And you do see the notification pop right here at the top part of the screen. And if your screen refreshes and you haven't checked these messages at all, you'll also see this alert over here, the orange button right down here. And if you're using a Windows PC, and mine is on my other screen, you will see a Windows notification down here on the lower right. Now, to check a text message that has arrived from a client, all you need to do is open your notification bar here. You can click on that. You can also click on Joe Palooka's name over here or on the orange button next to the screen. Either this one here or here will clear the notifications. I prefer clicking right here because it keeps that tab very clean, opens up the same screen here. I can now answer his question or politely let him know that I am waiting for that question. Sending a message from this screen is as simple as typing out the message, so you can go ahead and say anything there. The message goes straight out to Joe Palooka. He will receive that on his cell phone or other text interface.
Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at how a service advisor will take a digital vehicle inspection once that's been completed by the technician. You'll see here on the left our ticket for Joe Palooka. The DVI button has turned orange. When you mouse over it, you'll see that this inspection has been completed by our technician, and you'll see up here on the upper right that we have a notification. Now at this stage, as a service advisor, I typically will move the vehicle into the estimating status just simply by clicking on that status, and then I'll go ahead and click on this notification. You'll see that when I click the notification, it will clear that notification out of my queue at the same time that it brings me into the DVI. Now, my editing for a DVI is going to begin very simply by reviewing some of the technician's notes and anything that he's marked as bad. I like to scroll down here, and you'll see these toolbars where you can filter out the inspection results based on a number of variables. All the good items, all the items that are marked yellow or red, even items with private notes that the technician may have left for the advisor, and of course, items with attachments. This is usually the first one that I look at because I want to specifically look for any items that have a picture but maybe don't have a status attributed to it, such as this example here. The technician took a picture of these hoses, but it was not marked as anything. We can take a look at the image a little bit closer. It has no note. This is an image of good items. We can go ahead and mark this as such. Technicians are encouraged to make notes and mark up images if they can. Service advisors can mark up the images as well. You may choose a color. You can edit that, grab an arrow, and go ahead and take that arrow. You can take it and point any direction you need to, and we can go ahead and say, hoses look good. That saved, the customer will see the caption, the arrow, the markup, the note, and we can also add a note here as well. Looks good. That automatic caution when adding notes is something to look out for. That is a feature I usually keep disabled. I wanted to show you that. If you do add notes, it'll automatically jump there so you don't have a situation where an item is forgotten. Be sure to put that back where it belongs if that is on for your shop. Now, whenever we do add notes, it's important to note that while a technician has signed off on this, when the service advisor is logged in and they make a change, all of these changes are recorded in a change log. You can specifically see that my user is the one that made these notes. You can even filter it out by user, and you can see where we updated the notes on the hoses there. And you can also filter things back out to see what our technician said. Or if you wanted to specifically look at the hoses category, we can see that our technician added the picture but did not add any of the other items. While we're reviewing these inspections, it's important to note any of the recommendations that the technician has left for you. You'll see that these recommendations are right here, and you don't need to have a recommendation for each action. If you just have simple notes there, that's fine. And if you want to make a recommendation more clear to the customer, it is okay for you to go in and edit these. Now, we have a very specific one that I actually know exists here. We went and made a note on bad items. So let's look at all the yellow and red items together here. In this case, our technician did not take a picture of these tie rods. There's a recommendation to replace both of them for being rusty, right? And the note here says replace both outers. We can go ahead and click on the note to edit either one of these things. Both outers, not a term we want to necessarily use with the customer. We would actually probably want to spell this out. We can say both outer tie rods. and we can save that. Now we've affected that change so we have more consistent vernacular with the clients. Now, if we're happy with this inspection and we're all done, we can go ahead and send it now to the customer. But first, I like to make sure that we have made sure that the recommendation, the reason the vehicle is here, has been taken care of. It's also important to note that the metadata for the vehicle is complete for this visit, making sure mileage and VIN are all included. When you're ready to send it to the customer, all you'll have to do is hit the text button right here at the top of the page. There's no need to go to a separate page. You just click text, hit send, and the customer will receive the report.